Fiat currencies are quietly breaking, and most people are looking in the wrong place. Hello, Miss Bitcoin here, and today I want to talk about what gold and silver are really telling us about the global financial system, and why Bitcoin may be the final destination when the illusion breaks. Over the last year, gold and silver have been sending a very loud signal. Gold has surged to record highs, silver is not far behind, and this isn't happening in a vacuum. Historically, rising precious metal prices point to deeper economic stress and inflation, unsustainable debt, geopolitical instability, and most importantly, declining confidence in fiat currencies. And here's the key thing most people miss. This isn't just about one currency collapsing, it's about all fiat currencies slowly losing purchasing power relative to hard assets. Now, a lot of people are calling for a dollar collapse. And yes, the US dollar is weakening, massive deficits, rate cuts, de-dollarization, and geopolitical realignments are all putting pressure on it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The dollar will likely be the last fiat to fall, not the first. Why? Because when everything else looks worse, capital still runs to the cleanest dirty shirt. So while currencies like the Canadian dollar, the Japanese yen, the British pound, and smaller commodity-linked currencies are already showing stress, the dollar remains the unit everything is still priced in. And that's where things get dangerous. Because even if you protect yourself with hard assets, gold, silver, real estate, equities, your life is still denominated in dollars. Your bills, your taxes, your groceries, your payroll. So when pressure builds, what happens? You don't spend fiat. You're forced to sell hard assets to survive. And you're selling them for a currency that is actively losing purchasing power. That's the trap. Gold and silver are rising, yes, but only on paper. In real life, they are being measured against a yardstick that keeps shrinking. This is why you see strange contradictions. Markets are up, assets are up, but people feel poorer because the denominator is broken. Now let's zoom out for a moment. Currencies like the Canadian dollar are exposed to failing oil prices and trade instability. The Japanese yen is trapped by decades of loose monetary policy and carry trades. The British pound is weakened by fiscal tightening and political uncertainty. Smaller currencies like the Norwegian krone are highly sensitive to risk-off events and commodity volatility. Even emerging market currencies, while sometimes benefiting from dollar weakness, are fragile and prone to sudden shocks. So what are central banks doing? They're buying gold quietly, relentlessly, not because gold is exciting, but because it's nobody's liability that should tell you everything. But gold and silver have a problem. They're heavy, slow, they're hard to move, they're easy to confiscate, and in a fully financialized world, they mostly live on spreadsheets. Which brings us to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the first hard asset that exists outside the system. It isn't issued by a government, it isn't controlled by a central bank, it isn't tied to energy prices, trade agreements, or political coalitions. And most importantly, it doesn't rely on the dollar to function. Right now, Bitcoin is still misunderstood. People see gold and silver going up and think I missed it. They see equities holding value and think I'm safe. But once it becomes obvious that these gains are nominal, not real, once people realize that they are running faster just to stand still, the rotation will begin. Not from fiat to fiat, from fiat to hard assets, and finally to Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin doesn't just protect purchasing power, it escapes the denominator problem entirely. You don't sell Bitcoin to survive inflation, you opt out of the system that causes it. And when that clicks, when people realize that gold and silver protect wealth inside the system, but Bitcoin protects wealth outside of it, the shift will be fast, violently fast. This isn't about a dollar collapse tomorrow. It's about the slow realization that every fiat currency is designed to fail, just at different speeds. Gold and silver are the warning lights. Bitcoin is the exit. If you understand that now, you're early. If you don't, you will still get Bitcoin eventually. You will just pay a much higher price.